It's scary to admit, but a few months ago I again crossed the threshold of the gym precisely because of the guy. He seemed to me too smart for his years, and at the same time modest, with a too beautiful athletic body. When he walked around the kitchen in only jeans, I could not take my eyes off his back and arms, and for the first time in many years I felt like a fat woman, despite the fact that for 12 years now sports have been my faithful companion in life, though when paired with chocolate cakes. The guy seemed too perfect to me, and I felt not smart enough, not athletic enough, not self-confident enough. And when we stopped talking, although I started to get acquainted with other guys, I still periodically remembered and compared. And this prevented me from moving on and building new relationships. I knew that I had to do something. But what? Pump yourself up the same back and compete with him for the title of Mr. Olympia? Or win a crystal owl and what? Where? When? And then I remembered that something similar had happened to me before. Even when I was in school, I considered myself ugly. And secretly had a crush on one of the cutest boys in the class. Zoya was still drying up on him. She constantly tried to get his attention, which made me jealous. When he somehow answered her, I got angry, refused to let him write off mathematics, and I could even step on my foot when he turned his attention to me and started to pull his tail. Urka and Masha also wanted to go to the prom with him. Moreover, Masha believed that she had a clear advantage because their mothers were friends, and it was their couple who had already been blessed at the highest parental level. In this woman's carve-up of a peasant, I didn't even voice my intentions, and I didn't dare to hope that he would ever invite me. I decided not to wait until all the guys were sorted out. In general, there were more girls in our class, and I invited another boy myself, for whom there was less demand, Dimka. My first boyfriend was a tall, blue-eyed American with regular features, long eyelashes, and an athletic, slim figure. The American Eagle polo shirts were custom-tailored to fit perfectly on his curvaceous body. He even said that he once worked as a model, but perhaps this was just another story that he made up to hook naive girls. So, for example, when we first met, he told me that he was from Australia and had an Australian accent. After a while, when I had the honor of being introduced to his mother, who didn't look like Kylie Minogue at all, but rather looked like a typical American housewife in huge glasses and old-fashioned frayed jeans on her ass, he split that in America there is a fashion for an Australian accent, and he was just trying to be in trend. In general, when he first spoke to me and left his phone number, I began to look for a catch. I couldn't believe that this hot handsome guy could take notice of a girl like me. Maybe now Ashton Kutcher with a hidden camera will jump out from behind the bushes, filming his show setup, and it will all turn out to be a hoax. But what am I dreaming about? I am not Nelly Furtado, but just a simple Belarusian girl from a small town. Or maybe this guy has some problems with his head. Maybe he overheated in the sun and got sunstroke? How can this blue-eyed handsome man pay attention to such an ordinary, unremarkable girl like me? Short stature, no feminine curves, plump cheeks, for which they loved to pinch me so much as a child, and hateful eyes, for which I was teased until the age at which to call names was already considered indecent, and rather compromised the one who did it, and not the victim himself. I felt like I was out of my league. The blue-eyed one is among the cool and the highest, bathed in laurels, and is always in the center of female attention, and somewhere I am desperately trying to flounder in the second. I felt unworthy of such a handsome guy. However, during our relationship, he somehow ended up in jail for 20 days for not paying a fine 2 years ago, followed by the deprivation of a driver's license. He did not stay at any job for more than 3 months, and, of course, after each dismissal, regular scandals followed with his mother, the one who was supposed to give birth to him in Australia, and stepfather, with whom he lived. And somehow I realized that in fact it was he who was very afraid of losing me. For him, I was a girl from the big leagues, a girl who has goals, plans, ambitions, who received a higher mathematical education at the university, a stable income that allowed her to support herself and rent housing at her 19, despite the fact that she was in a foreign country away from their parents. Regardless of the reasons for our breakup, after it, I no longer wanted to feel unworthy or not pretty enough for any guy. And therefore, for many years I worked on myself and my appearance as well. Sports have become an integral part of my life, despite the fact that my first conscious run did not work out. I sprawled in the park, skinned my knees and elbows, tripping over a stone on the path. But this fall did not stop me. Striptease classes helped me find femininity in myself, and at least some curves in my body. Well, beauty salons, properly selected clothes and good makeup can make absolutely any girl at least a pretty girl. As for men, every ideal man has his flaws, and every insecure girl has her own virtues. Maybe I just put my perfect ex on a pedestal for nothing and underestimated myself? The last promotion at work and the results in my hobby gave me more reason to be proud of myself. Well, I decided not to quit the gym. I like it when my body takes shape. There is still something to strive for, and it's insanely nice when the men in the gym compliment my sporting achievements. Every perfect man is not perfect. And if he was with you, it means that there is something in you that attracted him. It remains only to find something to love yourself for and move on with a confident gait.